Hello, hello everyone! Welcome to another World of Warships Legends video. I am your host, Phoenix61. We are in the Kaga today. This is the, Japanese premium carrier, right? One thing that's cool about this ship is so with the torpedoes, you can see that it's in groups of 4, right? So you're kind of a little bit like, I don't know, you're in this between this rock and an awkward place, right? With the ability to get 2 runs is a little bit challenging because if you're flying over heavy AA, you're gonna lose most of your second run of planes, right? So you can just do pre-drops, and then that way you're only sending 4 in at a time. It's kind of hit or miss, whether that's always the best strategy, right? But for now, I'm holding on to them. As you can see, we're kind of trying to spot their destroyer here. But so I could get a kind of my pre-drop run, so to speak, at this destroyer. That way those those planes will go back to the carrier, right? So, but yeah, we're just kind of taking the chances, right? I just really I want to go after those battleships, but I don't, because they're together. You're gonna lose, especially early on in the game. There's the destroyer. Especially early on in the game, they're gonna have a lot of AA, right? So later on, a lot of times, the ships have a little bit less AA just because they've taken damage through battle and stuff, yeah, so things. So we'll get a decent hit here. I was kind of it does double duty, right? Because if they're so close together, those 2 battleships, that some of the torpedoes might hit the other one, so it's just too tempting to pass up. So same thing with the bombers, right? You get basically two runs each. And one of my, everyone always says go after the destroyers when you're the carrier, and that's fine. I'll spot the destroyers. You guys know me if you've been watching my videos. I will spot destroyers all day long if my teammates are helping shoot, right? But it's tough to hit destroyers as the carrier, right? It's literally the most maneuverable ship, and you're in these airplanes, right? But one of my favorite things to do is flush out cruisers. I think that's really, really valuable. So you have a lot of cruiser players like to, sit behind cover, and then, just kind of get their shots off from there without being spotted a lot. And a lot of times, just by making an attack run at those cruisers, you can get them to try and change their position or come out from cover, and then your battleships and your allies can really go to town on those cruisers. So that's, I feel also a valuable thing. I think with the carrier, it's there's so many different ways to support the team, and you're always going to piss somebody off on your team because you're not supporting them in the way they want you to, right? So you do what you think is best, right, and go from there. So that's what I do. But yeah, so dropping fighters over where you think their planes are going to go, or over top of your destroyers, since people do have that mentality of trying to go after the destroyers as the carrier, right? So then you're giving your destroyer, you're countering that play by giving your destroyer a little bit of extra protection, right? And then also the ability, it helps them spot too. So if they're sitting in a smoke screen, you drop fighters over top, that'll help spot, right? But so yeah, so here I am, I can see there's a destroyer and or that anchorage still in this smoke screen here. So I'm going to send my torps into it. And then see if we can't, real quick, we'll use our shield consumable, right? That allows us to take a little bit less damage from AA fire. See if we can't help some of these planes survive while we get this run off at this battleship, right? So we were able to get 3 torps sent towards him. I am I'm getting better with this ship, with these planes, but yeah, so we get all 3 to there. But yeah, so I sat and watched, because I feel if you're confident with it and you use this particular carrier, or whatever one you're playing with a lot, you're a little bit more confident in where those drops go. But if you're not, I was literally watching where those torpedoes, if they were gonna hit, if I let it enough, so. But otherwise, if I'm all right, I'm gonna get them for sure, then you go back to your carrier right away and launch your next set of planes, so that you can, you know, get your next run going, right, to kind of do more and more damage. But yeah, sometimes I'll watch just so that I like can kind of like make sure I'm doing it right, you know. Other than just like seeing like, you know, going through and just seeing what pops up, you know, you don't, if nothing pops up, then you don't know how bad you missed. We get a good run there. The Hawk does have really good anti-air, and there is an option in there. I don't know if it's an option or if it's a default, like, but you get the like enhanced AA consumable for that ship as well. So he's really making work of us. But you know, these planes aren't too bad. I know there's some planes out there that I complain like just go down so easy. These aren't too bad, and we get a lot too. So like we still had. You know, we took off with 21 planes here for the torpedo bombers, right? So whether or not you really do need to do a lot of pre-dropping is probably up for debate with this one. So we'll swing back around, get some help our allies over here spot. We really just have, well, we've got two battleships. We've got the one that's kind of hanging right by us. And then, of course, we sent our autopilot for our carrier to kind of move away from these guys. We obviously don't want to get spotted, but you still want to stay close to the battle so that you're not spending a lot of time flying, right? But, you know, you still want to prioritize keeping your carrier alive, because if it dies, then you can't do anything right. So we'll lead this guy as much as we can here. And then, yeah, I'm going to, so, you know, as opposed to circling back around, I'm going to speed boost away. Yeah, we got all 4 hits there. It's always, like, tempting to, like, go, like, we had that other battleship in front of us, too. But at the same time, sometimes if you can get this second run in, sometimes their damage con is used up. And then if you trigger flood, then it's, like, you know, more power to you, right? And you're going to get some heavier damage. I have, like, a farm of, like, I have dogs and cats, so, like, they annoy each other. I don't know if you guys heard meowing in the background. Alright, we'll go and defend the B-hole. As we see kind of a lonely battleship in here, so this is a perfect target for us, right? I love how these planes, I think this probably makes you a little more susceptible to, like, fire, but, like, I love how low and close they get to the ship and to the water, right, as you come in. Like, it just makes it so much easier to get those hits. See, oh, he's on fire, but it's not from us. We're probably not going to get this kill. Somebody else. Oh, can we? Oh, dang it. Alright, who do we go after? Like, a fairly close game. Like, we've got the zones right now. And, you know, like, you know how I always advocate for, like, don't chase down an enemy ship? Well, I think that's what their team did here over on the A side. So we'll autopilot our carrier in and cut him in and stay close to our allies here, right? But, like, you can see, like, there's, you know, none of my team is left surviving over on the A side. And, yeah, so we're in a spot. So my guess is they were hunting down some of our ships, and now you've kind of, like, you've given up positioning for the rest of the match, right? For where the rest of the enemies are, as well as the zones, you know, so we don't, you know, they're not in a good position to get these other zones. Like, it's going to take them minutes to even get to B at this point, right? So we'll swing around. So, like, you can tell this, you know, we had to kind of swing around quite a bit here. This battleship was really trying to avoid us making a run at him, or at least having a good, you know, a good angle for a run at him. But we swung around. Our patience paid off here. You know, like, it's funny when you're the carrier. A lot of times I'll see battleships and cruisers just turn straight up broadside to, like, you know, my allies, and to avoid the carrier hitting them, and then, you know, you're like, a battleship just wrecks them, right? Like, so he ends up running into the island. So, like, same scenario. You're like, you know, you're trying to avoid taking hits from the airplanes, and you end up running into you know, not paying attention to what else is going on. So yeah, so we pop high caliber there and get that kill. 136,000 damage. That's pretty good. You know, I feel like if you, man, at these higher tiers, like I feel like if you break like halfway, you know, on the leaderboard, if you're in like the top 4 or 5, you're doing good, and over 100 grand damage. I feel like that's, you know, that's a decent carrier player, right? Like I get criticized for my carrier play style all the time, and you know, it is what it is. I do what I think is best, guys. Okay, and what I have the most fun with. So yeah, so we positioned our fighters in a perfect spot to defend our battleship there that was getting picked on, and we actually got one plane shot down from our fighters. And then we will, yeah, man, this guy's low. So this is one carrier that is a little bit easier to hit destroyers with. Just because these bombers fly so low, right? That's doable, right? But like some of them, like man, like the British guys, it's that carpet bomb, and like I'll have it perfectly centered, and it's just RNG whether or not you get hits. And I've had them where I just get nothing, right? And then some of the carriers, like that, you drop bombs from so high up. The Soviets, you use like torpedoes. The Soviets have the skip bombs; those are tough to hit destroyers with. And then their torpedoes are, you know, they sit in the water like really long before they come back up to the surface and you actually get hits. And they're slow too, so like they're damn near impossible to hit destroyers with those. So, but yeah, the bombers on this one are doable, right? Like some like decent skill, a little bit of luck, and you can get there, right? But yeah, some of them it's a challenge, right? So we got a fire going on the battleship that we hit. And then somebody finishes him off, so that fire is no more. And one cruiser left here. And somebody finished him off, right? Good job. Go team! Alright, we'll see where we end up. We score 144,000 damage total. So yeah, we do get second place. I'm going to call that good. Right? Yeah, for a carrier. Huh? I feel like I've been making that noise too much lately. Huh? 450,000 silvers. Monies. Game currency, whatever you want to call it. So yes, I am using this guy, Yamaguchi. And then, yeah, I do like to put anti-air stuff in for inspirations and kind of build that out a little bit with the commander build as well, just to kind of counter. And then, you know, here I'm going to use the perks for whichever plane type I like the most, you know, and then we'll go offensive here too. So we'll pick the bombers, and then I pick the torpedoes, right? And then fully packed gives you more consumables for the planes, right? So you get more fighters you can drop, more engine cooldowns, right? That's totally worth it. Yeah, so it's I feel like that other legendary perk is a little bit tougher to use, right? But yeah, I do like to counter the you know, when the opposing carrier likes to like come at you and spot you and like try and get a run at you early on in the game. And so like, and then if you do run into a scenario where, you know, the enemy carrier is keeping you spotted to you know, so that his allies can shoot at you, that helps a little bit too, right? You know, occasionally if you can get that range with the AA. But yeah, so that's what I've done. Thank you guys so much for watching my video all the way through. Please do subscribe to the channel. I am on the bus that is struggling to get to 500 subscribers, right? So help me out there. That helps me out the most to make ourselves a real life channel, right? So yeah, but yep, we're doing World of Warships videos every day, so make sure to follow, and we'll see you tomorrow.